Don't let anybody lie to you. YouTube is a miracle. It can change your life for the better.
I am standing on $5 million of real money.
Or leave you in a pit of regret, agony, and depression. This usually happens at the top of the food chain, where a YouTuber's grass to grace story suddenly leads them down a path of degeneracy and clout chasing for views.
If I had a gun, you would have died.
But even more tragic than those at the top are those who never make it. I'm talking about those who venture into content creation, find out what it really takes to consistently pump out content day in and day out, and nobody even cares to give it a watch. It's honestly very sad but funny at the same time. Because sometimes I wake up at 4 AM the morning after I posted a video, and I'll be expecting the video which I put so much effort, so much of my heart and soul into to be performing, only to go and meet it with 29 views. Do you know what that does to a person? Another crazy thing is, all the while you're obsessing over your work and how to get better, how to get more views and all that, you have a girl on the side showing you images on Shein and going, baby, isn't this bag nice? Ooh, I like the color of this wig. And the whole time I'm like, oh, shut up. Can't you see I'm depressed? So you may be asking yourself, why at all is Francis going on and on about content creation and how hard it is? After all, his mom wanted him to go do the engineering, but he decided he was funny and was going to keep making YouTube videos.
You are a parasite. You wasted all these years. Now you are on YouTube and you're doing nothing engineering on YouTube.
So why won't he just stop complaining and do his work? Well, it all stems from one conversation I had with a female friend of mine.
All right, knock it off, at ease.
And through this conversation, I realized that a lot of people want to get into content creation, but there's a barrier and a false dream which has been sold to them. So about a week ago, a friend of mine texted me with 3 questions. But before she asked them, she gave me a little speech. She said, Francis, I want to start creating content on YouTube. I want to tell inspiring stories that push the barrier on what is possible to feel emotionally. I want my words, my experiences, and my fictional narratives to bring down the world's defenses and teach values that sustain high morals and keep us moving in the right direction as a species. And in the end, when it's all said and done, peace and love shall prevail. I may have exaggerated that a teeny little bit. What she actually said was, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I want to use AI to create content to tell stories. They're basically the same thing. So in today's video, we are going to be discussing that idea that a lot of people have, which is that YouTube is an easy gig and also a fast track to success.
Many people quit because they didn't make $5,000 like they were promised, right? In 2021, almost every other human being in this country had a YouTube channel, and like they were posting actively, right? In 2025, we are like 15 left.
We are also going to be discussing the 3 questions anybody who wants to get into content creation or is considering an online career must ask themselves even before they pick up a camera to record anything at all. And at the very end, I talked to one of my favorite creators of all time, Mr. Lesplay. He'll be sharing his unique experience and whether YouTube is worth the grind at the end of the day. So without further ado, you know me. If you don't, my name is Francis and I make videos about topics, events, and ideas I find interesting. So if this is your cup of tea, please consider subscribing to the channel.
Nice.
Now let's get into the video. For most people, there's this idea that YouTube is a fast track to success. And for some reason, they believe they'll be the lucky ones to just snap and boom, they have 1 billion views, 1 million subscribers, the entire world flocking to watch their videos, and most importantly, their bank accounts filled to the brim with that sweet US dollars. But no, you're wrong. It barely ever happens. It won't happen to 99% of people who exist today. By me saying that, a lot of people are going to think they are part of the 1% that will happen to. If you think so, sure. But the earlier you understand you're not so special and you're just like the rest of us, the better it's going to be for you and your mental health. Trust me. And apart from that, there are also a lot of people who believe that this job is easy. People believe you just turn on the camera and you start talking. If I should tell you the process and for how many days I've been trying to make this particular video, you would be surprised. If you've been keeping count, I haven't posted a video in about 15 days and you have no idea the toll that takes on a person. Their entire nights I just shiver in bed because I cannot even think of a good idea that is worth pursuing. And I know what you might say, Francis, there's a lot of things going on the internet. You can pick any one of them and start talking. But yeah, that's the thing. For me personally, I like to talk about things that I find interesting. And most of the time, all of the news that is going on are just things I generally don't care about. I don't really care about Kanye talking crazy online.
But I also love Nazis.
Or some internet drama, what Burna Boy did with who. It doesn't matter to me. But another crazy thing with YouTube is you really cannot do what you want if you want to succeed on the platform. So if you're not talking about internet controversies and drama, there's a high chance you are barely going to get any views. That's just the game. The algorithm favors those type of content. And if you decide to go the alternate route, you will find it much harder to reach a wider audience. That's just how it is. In fact, let me tell you this story. So a few months ago, a very popular veteran Nigerian artist and his wife got divorced. And for a good 3 or 4 days, it was the only thing anybody was talking about. YouTube commentary and news channels were just going crazy about it. Then my girl came to me.
Daddies!
She was like, baby, are you going to talk about how insane this issue is? I just watched a 30-minute video of a woman explaining it and it had over 100,000 views. People are definitely going to watch it if you make one about it. First of all, thank you, love. Secondly, I don't care. I don't. Then the girl was like, oh, so you only make videos about things you care about? Yeah, basically. Then why haven't you made one about me? No, but really, if I don't care about something, I won't really give it all of my attention to research and write about it. It will drive me crazy. And for that particular topic, it wasn't as if I was a fan of the guy's music. I even cringe when I hear his most popular song. And you are my African. So for me to go and do years of research only to come and make a video about it, it was excessive. It was too much. I just didn't want to. So what's the relevance of that story? Well, I feel like if your primary objective is to grow and grow fast on YouTube, then sure, have at it. You can go crazy and talk about every drama and every controversy and build a following and community who come to you for that type of content. But consistently talking about things you don't really care about for whatever reason could end you in a very bad place where you have very little wiggle room to do what you actually care about. So I thought I'd get that out of the way before talking about the 3 questions my friend asked me. The first question was, how do I create an account? It sounds very easy and simple enough, but a lot of people do not know the first thing about creating a channel on YouTube. But here's the thing, if you're watching this video and you can like it and subscribe to the channel, which you should, then you basically have a YouTube channel. All you need to do is go up here and click this button to upload a video. But more important than just going up there to click the button is why you want to click that button. Why do you want to have an online career? Now that simple question is going to define a lot of the things you choose to do with your channel. It will dictate the type of content you post, the persona you present to your audience. Everything depends on that single question. When you ask a lot of people, the most obvious answer you're going to get is money and numbers, views. And yes, of course, I get that. We are all doing it for the views. But solely chasing the numbers without offering any value or anything of substance can be an unforgiving task. Because this machine keeps going in perpetuity. And you can try chasing it, but you will never be able to catch up to it. So it would be wise to play this YouTube game with a plan in mind. And this perfectly leads us into the next question: how to get views on YouTube. As I've already said multiple times in this video, there are many ways to get views on YouTube, but the most popular one is focusing on the content the algorithm will serve, which is focusing on popular trends and internet controversies. But if you want to offer your audience something with more substance and value, you might want to take the slower route, which isn't a lot of fun. For that path, it takes a really long time to get anywhere with your channel. So those are some of the ways to get views on YouTube, but the craziest one that I have found so far, this blew my mind, was actually something my girl brought to my attention. This girl, oh my god. Moving on, somewhere in December last year, This girl came and she was like, baby. She always says it that way, baby. And she was like, baby, a friend of mine started YouTube about a month ago and he already has 3,000 subscribers. He's monetized, he's getting thousands of views every single video and he's making some money on his videos. So immediately she said that, I was like, whoa. How? At that point, I think I had been doing YouTube for about 5 months and I still had about 600 subscribers. So it was pretty crazy the number she was quoting to me. And you know, girls, she was like, baby, I think you should go and talk to him so he teaches you how he's doing all that. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I asked for the link to the channel and ladies and gentlemen, immediately I set eyes onto that channel. Everything I thought I knew about YouTube became irrelevant. Nothing made sense because to my knowledge, one of the most important factors on YouTube to getting some views is your packaging, which is the thumbnail and the title of your video. So if your thumbnail and title are good enough, you're going to get people to click on it and watch the video. And if they watch the entirety of the video and are satisfied, they leave it a like, drop a comment, and maybe subscribe to your channel. That's how the algorithm knows the video is good and then pushes it to more people. That's how I thought it worked, but apparently not. So I was like, oh, maybe the thumbnails and titles aren't so crazy. But another important thing is the quality of the content, how good your video is. Imagine my surprise when I clicked on a video and it was all just more and more of this. And maybe that's just not my type of video and people like it, I don't know, it just wasn't my type of video. So immediately some red flags began to go off in my mind and I decided to go through the comments. Most of the comments were in foreign languages. The ratio between likes, views and comments were just not tallying up. And it was this one comment here which blew the lid on the whole operation. And down the line we ended up in a group chat where he disclosed that he was buying views and likes. So I guess that's another way people get monetized fast on YouTube and start getting paid early. I think it would be wicked for me to say that and not tell you about the potential dangers you could find if you take that route. For one thing, YouTube can find you out and nuke your entire channel, removing your content and your channel from the face of the earth. You could potentially get scammed or be exposed to people with malicious intent. And since your growth isn't organic, you really can't stop buying the views. It becomes a perpetual cycle where you have to pay for the views, and the moment you stop paying, you get significantly low views in your channel. So you could have 50,000 subscribers and just be getting about 100 or less views on any video you post, which isn't worth it. Now let's return to the final question my friend asked: how do I make money on YouTube? And since I have made approximately $0.000, I'm going to give the floor to someone who has made at least $1. So ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause for Lesplay. But this is my channel. Alright, let's just dive in. So you have about 12,000 subscribers on YouTube and a lot of videos. And I'm sure you've been getting paid on your videos. So now tell us, how did you get into YouTube?
In 2017, 2018, I think I started making these short videos on Instagram. And I think by the time 2021 came by, where the whole pandemic thing was happening, I was watching so much YouTube and I saw people doing these kind of videos and I was like, I can do it.
Alright, let's do this thing. I'm absolutely not ready for this. But luckily for me, I have no subscribers and nobody cares. So
I have a lot of thoughts all the time about every single thing. So yeah, I decided to do YouTube. I recommend YouTube to people all the time, like people who don't even want to do it. If I see you doing something interesting in your life, I usually tell the person like, yo, you can make content around this and it will be nice. So it took me a year to get the 1,000 subscribers, and I think I got the 4,000 hours a little bit before, but I got the 1K subscribers after a year. And then it took me, I'm forgetting how long it took me before I got paid for real on YouTube. But it may have been a couple of months after I got monetized before I reached the threshold to get paid, which is $100 or so. Yeah, I think it took some time.
Alright, so this is no news, but we all know this country is a dump and we are all trying to escape. And one of the avenues people are looking at to kind of get some revenue is doing YouTube. So would you say the money YouTube pays out would be enough to help a person survive in this country?
Now about the economy and like using YouTube as an escape from the economic hardship and like making dollars and all these things. Back in 2021, we used to do these YouTube seminars a lot, right? So we used to meet, all of us to go somewhere and meet. And one of the biggest things was like some of the big YouTubers will come and say, you know, last month I made $30,000 and I made $5,000 and you can make it too. The issue is never the money. Like, there's a stupid amount of money being paid out on YouTube like every month. Okay, crazy. The issue is that those kind of things they give people this unrealistic view about YouTube. Listen, if you start YouTube, for the average person, there's a skill gap, right? Most of you don't know how to talk on camera.
As you can see, I'm very awkward on camera. My background is crap. My speech has always been terrible, and I don't know what to do with my hands.
Most people don't know how to edit videos. Most people don't know how to do anything media related. Some of these guys, they come into YouTube with a smaller skill gap. Some of them have been doing radio. Some of them have been doing other things, like they are like videographers. They know how to do all these other things already. That gives them an edge. So they're able to like get to the money faster, right? So you have like the average person coming into the game thinking they're going to have those results, and then when they don't, they are like, oh, this thing is very, very difficult. And then many people quit. Like, I don't want to shade anybody, but like in 2021, almost every other human being in this country had a YouTube channel, and like they were posting actively, right? In 2025, we are like 15 left. And it's because many people were not realistic about their skill gap, right? They thought that if they post videos, YouTube will say, oh wow, this guy, you are very beautiful. I like your videos. I will show it to 1 million people. That's not how it works. You get what I'm saying? Like making a good video, packaging the video with a title and thumbnail. This is stuff that like I'm just now figuring out after like this is my 4th year, right? And I'm just now like understanding really how to make good titles and thumbnails. Many people quit because they didn't make $5,000 like they were promised, right? So like, yeah, I will recommend it, but I'll say like, know yourself, understand that there's a skill gap, right? Or know your skill gap. Maybe you are very good, maybe you do media, you do all these other things, and like you are going to be very good at it in the beginning. You might succeed. Then you have to just learn the algorithm, right? Learn how to make better videos, editing, and make a good title and a great thumbnail. And then you'll be good to go, right? And then be consistent, of course.
Alright, so as you said, you've been doing this for 4 years, which is crazy. And I'm sure there have been a lot of up and downs in this journey, but through it all, you have kept going hard. So I would like to know what your end game is. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, what are you trying to achieve with this YouTube channel?
Now, my end game with YouTube has changed quite a bit. Before, I was just doing it for fun. I just wanted to like put videos out, and I loved talking about stuff. But then now, I'm getting into a lot of other things, entertainment wise, and so YouTube for me is going to be like a way to like draw people into, you know, some of the other things that I want to do entertainment wise. Like I make entertainment type videos, so it will be a natural progression from there. So like that's my end game now, and it might change. You know, nobody knows. It might change.
All right. That's all the dance I have in me, but thank you for coming, thank you for watching, thank you for liking the video and subscribing to the channel. I would also like to thank Lesplay for coming on and sharing his unique experience with us. Let me know if you would be starting a channel yourself. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to come to it and give you a reply. So that's it for today, and I'll see you another time. Thank you, and